Hello and welcome back. Here is the game I played against v.Zeist 7 Dan, former European champion. I think he won the European Championship like 3 times. First time in 81 when I was 1 year old. That's an interesting piece of information. And in this game I played white, very confident, having the 7.5 komi under Chinese rules. And we played pretty much an old school Fuseki, no early Sansan evasions, but of course a very common approach, the low Kakari instead of high. This used to be popular for so many years, to play something like that and extend. This is a misclick, and then attach here once and then jump out. This would be like a very basic Fuseki pattern. But nowadays everybody, especially the AI, are playing the low approach, so we embrace it. And Keima here, it's also very common. Now at this point I could immediately take a base, 2-space jump. This is played more often than 3-space jump recently, but I guess both moves are absolutely fine, or anything around this area like a middle side extension. I wasn't sure which one to play, so I just looked at the position and I thought, okay, I better play somewhere else. And playing f3, it's a move to prevent the Sansan invasion at c3, so it just makes sense. And then I want to go all the way to m3 when I get a chance. Now here I expected black to play, for example, this move, and then think about an attach here or an attach here. I keep seeing this kind of variation in pro games recently. And then, oops, Atari here actually. But Atari in the corner too. And Hane, and take, and then turn, or connect. This can be messy, huh? It can get out of control easily and complicated. So we try to keep it simple because you don't want to lose the game early, especially when it's an important game. You want to keep it balanced as much as you can. Now black played the high and far approach. That's a rare move nowadays. Bots probably never played, but humans still like it, and I'm playing a player who used to be very strong 10-20 years ago, and back in the day these were quite popular approaches. And I try to keep it simple. Of course I can play Kosumi in the corner, I can play the approach here, I can think about some pincer. But as I said earlier, just keep it simple and patient, especially when you play white. You have the 7.5 komi in pocket, so you gotta wait for the komi to materialize later in the game. Now black extended to the middle of the side for a base, and I took this spot. Even that I kept looking at an extension on the right side in front of the Shimari, like this one, but then black has the freedom to play away on the play again on the left side to reinforce that area and limit my d4 formation, the influence. So I think it feels pretty good to play c8. It's a natural move because with c8 I'm looking at invasion c12. Now black played a kick. In this position, if I go out, it's pretty heavy, and then black will take away the extension. So I guess that's his plan. Play one of the moves here, just to work well with the top right Shimari. Therefore, I played in the middle of the side, because that's where black wants to extend. And I'm trying to discard r5, just treat it lightly. So if black plays Hane, or the other Hane, or even pincer, I can just extend again. So I don't care about r5 for now. I can probably use it later as Aji, like Hane, Atari, something in that corner. This was the plan. And black played the Hane on top. But if you look at the position, after a few moves, it feels like this extension is too close to the strong formation in the corner. So we can say black is slightly over concentrated in this area. So it's not really clear that it was really an advantage to play all those moves next to r5. But actually black can still approach r8, and then he can hope to build more and put some pressure on the group on the right. But now I would invade the left side. So it makes sense for black to protect the weakest area he's got. Especially that after he protects e10, he's strong enough to invade c6. So you also want to think about follow-up. Now on the right side, I don't really like black playing the point at r8. So first I approach here because it's the most open side and it weakens the shimari. So I expect black to play another move here just to settle it down, to fix the corner, and that induces my extension on the right. And then we have a strong position everywhere. Both black and white are playing very cautious up to this point. Black jump out, but this leaves some margin in the corner. I can play the attach, or I can play this one. There are several moves to consider, but he jump out in order to invade the top later. So if I play another move here, he's sente, and he can play away, and he can still think about these kind of moves to invade later on. But the proper move to protect the corner is Kosumi. Now he doesn't have to worry about anything. That's like 15 points solid corner. So I jump all the way to r7 because playing, for example, r6 looks brave, but black can invade. And then when I go out, he will also go out. And I have a problem with the base on the right, and also those three stones are a little bit heavy and separated. So I don't have the guts to go that close, therefore just r7. And now if black plays away, which he did, I'm thinking maybe I can get sente and also descend here. But it wasn't the case. Anyway, I attach. Probably it's also possible to play the kick and go out. Maybe the pros nowadays who are more active and let's say always willing to fight would choose a variation like this. I just try to keep it simple. So connect my stones, set up a wall, and then eventually extend around k4. Anyway, the profit black gets here, I also consider this variation. Push and sacrifice one stone, and then extend somewhere on the bottom side. It's probably possible, but I try to keep the wall connected. In fact, here it's more interesting for black to play Keima, and when white bumps, black goes Kosumi. That's a better way to live in the corner. And if white protects, black can just play away. The group is already alive, so like this is sente, and he can extend in front of the wall. That's actually a big difference. But I guess if black plays here, I would Kosumi Tsuke anyway. And now probably this will happen. And again, when I bump, he needs to play something to protect the corner. Or this. But if he plays the Hane, oh, net leg on cages. What happened? Okay. Oh wow. He jumped back to this. Alright, we are here. So if he plays this exchange, that's easier for white to invade the left side. So back to the original game. Black push, white Hane, black Hane, white blocks with the bump, and now black has to live in the corner. This is a nice move to remember, playing a5 instead of playing b5. When black plays b5, there's a Tesuji white can use later on to jump on the first line. And then if black, for example, is busy to protect the area on the left, white has the attach and Atari, which leads to a co-fight. And now let's say we have a co-threat here, and take the ko, and if black connects, everything is in jeopardy. Oops, actually we can just kill with this move, because now there is only one eye in the corner. So he played a very good move. to jump on the second line. If I cut here, nothing happens. It doesn't work to go Atari and create any kind of trouble. Now about this jump, I remember Ali Jabarin saying it's more interesting to extend like this. If I just want to protect the top side, I play one move and I protect it, and then I can still think about the invasion at c12. So even if black plays something like this and he jumps, he's kind of thin on the left side. And he's actually right, because the formation with j16 looks very good in the top. Using m16 and f16 and a few moves, white beats like 20-30 points easily. But maybe my thinking is I don't want to let him jump at f14, and if he protects, for example, like this, I jump again in the top and I start to grow the moyo, create some kind of box from the top growing towards the center. That's hoping for too much, maybe a little bit greedy, but well, that's the amateur way of thinking. Try to take everything. And now black was thinking to punish me somehow and to protect the left side more actively. His way, I mean the timing of playing the peep, it's to force white connect, and when he pushes here, then I block, and now that exchange is good because it forced white into an empty triangle, this move. I mean this shape. That's why I play the exchange first. But I play the bump, so when he plays the push and I block, I already have a good shape, and then he has to come back, and then I can play another move to protect the top side. Probably I can still go back to this move. So that's the counter. He went ahead, and now the most natural move would be to play here, because that's where black wants to go next. But again, I tried some fighting spirit, so attach first, which is actually a little bit questionable, because I'm using the idea of playing q17, r17 or other moves in the corner. And then I pull back, so he doesn't play L16 shoulder hit. Well, this was a little bit questionable, but in that moment it felt the right thing to me, so I follow my instinct. He went down, of course. I have to play here, otherwise it's too painful to allow that hane. And if he goes down again, that's a little bit dangerous. I can try to surround everything. So he played an attach, trying to create sabaki. But then it's a bit tricky, because once I play Atari here, j16 doesn't look so good. And black is still heavy, he needs to go out. And the shape is quite painful. I don't know if I should take the stone. Actually, it's probably better just to connect. It doesn't matter if black plays here and Atari and I answer all. It's no big deal. He still needs to go out and save himself. Or probably here I play the vital point and then jump. Either like this or like this. So maybe in this area I played a bit too fast. Push again, then the key move. This gives black a pretty bad shape when he connects that way. So heavy, the soldier set. And later on it still allows me to jump in the middle, G10 or G11. Now I had to pull back here in order to use the Agi in the corner, so clamp Q18. Of course black is not going to answer right now. He's still busy with other moves. But it would be nice, and I didn't want black to capture that stone. For example, if I jump here and he plays a peep and then he takes the stone, I lose base in the top, so now it's easy for black to fight, and like that he builds a nice top right corner while attacking. Then I have to run out, and he also runs out, and it's a different game. So I pull back. Black still needs to make sure he's okay. I could connect here actually, because he's not completely alive. He needs to jump out somehow, maybe this way. So I clamped first, took a little profit in the corner. Then I can still use S17 and Q15 to try to remove black's eye shape in the corner. Taking this stone felt pretty big. This is a very basic tactic for black to go down and sacrifice 2 stones. If he just plays Atari here, of course he can also play this move, but this is not necessarily sente. Now I can play away, and when he goes down, I block and he needs to take 1 stone. The corner is alive for white. And if he plays Atari and I capture 1 stone and then he plays away, I'm happy to play the Hane and everything here in center, because the corner keeps growing and black is shrinking on the left side. So it's a very good tactic to descend and then sacrifice both stones. And keep center, of course. This capture is black's privilege in center. The turn is maybe questionable. Probably not necessary. Right now it's very big for black to play, for example, this move, then take 1 stone, then extend on the bottom side. Let's check the estimator. Ooh, black plus 11. But it's not really accurate. Anyway, like this, black is in the game. He builds a lot of territory on the bottom side. In the actual game, he turned, and then I got the big point on the bottom. Probably this is the last big point on the board. He took the stone, that's pretty big. Maybe playing this one, it's not that urgent. But what else? Let's see. Trying a reducing move here, and then this, and go down. I think black didn't like the idea of sacrificing this. By white, I mean, all this sequence. Probably in this case I would just play Atari on the outside and then do something about the corner. So my right side grows a little bit by sacrificing 2 stones. So that's why he connected solid. Also another way would be to play Hane and connect here. And that creates some RG to play the clamp or to play this approach from the outside. But now maybe white should just play something like this. And simply increase the bottom side. It seems very big for both sides to play around M3, N3, L3, this area on the bottom. But before then, I was like, okay, let's see what happens in the corner. This Agi was really appealing. And then we have a little co-fight. That was one of the most critical moments of the game. It's nice to see black has a fighting spirit and plays this attach. But it doesn't really bother me, because it just gives me solid territory on the right side, and it's not really a lot of gain in the middle for black. Now his shape is still kind of shaky, and we continue the call. At this point I can also just connect like this. How about Atari, it's no problem here, huh? This is all fine. But then I just, let black leave too easy in the corner, so I try to fight the call more. Because the thing is, when I capture again, he has to struggle to stay alive with the group. So for example, now if he plays Atari on 2 stones, I take once again. If he captures 2 stones, I no-B, and all those stones are floating in the middle, and I get a lot of profit in the corner. What was supposed to be like 10-15 points for black in the corner, all of a sudden it's 10-15 points for white, and black is running out without a base. But he found a nice move to reduce the bottom and fight the call. So if I capture here now, he will just go down and I'm not happy. So I resist. Now at this stage, I consider playing Atari here, and if he captures, I give him back the corner, let's say like this, and then continue here. But I wasn't that confident it's the right thing to do. Maybe I didn't count well enough, so I decided to continue the co-fight. But now when he plays this move, we have to fight the bottom. It becomes the hot spot of this game right now. And usually you gotta descend and sacrifice instead of just playing Atari and this, for example. This would be center profit for black, and then he goes back and takes the call. So I prefer to go down and then force black play more moves. I'm losing those 3 stones, but in the end I got a lot of outside influence. This is actually a nice move, but the Suji is good to remember h3. If he plays here, next I can push once and win the semi. So I take back everything on the bottom side. Therefore, black has to protect and kill them faster. And that gives me more outside forcing moves. h1 and j1 can be used as co-threats. And he cannot go out if he plays h4 and he escapes. So let's say, so right now, how it was. Oh. Okay, Jess is not moving anymore. Yeah, right now I captured the core, I eliminated the core. And then if he tries to escape here, Atari and turn, it doesn't work. I simply push the group into the wall. But black got the profit around L3. And maybe he felt comfortable about the whole situation. But if you look all over the board, white also got some profit by playing those moves at k5. Now it's much easier to fight in the middle. So this stage, we can say it's some kind of trade to kill this stone in the corner and all the surrounding territory for giving up the 3 stones. And then I jump here with the idea of putting some pressure on the k12 group, and maybe later also think about attacking the e10 group in case I manage to protect b10. It's hard to kill those groups, but never know. Good to keep them in check. Now that's a forcing move to work with the idea of the j4. Then I have to connect my stones in the center. These stones are still not going out, but they keep some margin. And then with this jump, I'm trying to separate the top group from the middle stones, and at least make sure black is not building any points because he's busy running out to stay alive. Now this is a move to separate the top group, which is not completely alive, from the right group. And the right group has also some I-shape issues. Now he's alert and he tries to fix that. So we're back to that co-fight. And also in the top, if I manage to take j15, I can farce both eyes in one move. Remember this kind of defense, because if I play here and black cuts, I still need another move. So I better play one move, and I'm already, oops, misclick. I'm already protected, so when black cuts here, I can fight back. That's a nice shape point to go s8, and it also creates a follow-up at s6. Now I decided to let black survive, because anyway there are just a few points. Then we fight a little bit the other core, but actually at this stage I don't even worry about killing anything. I just want to keep it simple. Oh, I forgot to push here once. It would have been good. And then take the core. And I still have more co-threats, because now black plays the Atari as a co-threat. And it's too difficult to go for the kill. Ah, maybe I could. Or is it greedy? So when he attack here, if I connect, he can play this, and make eyes. And then I take this. Okay, and if he takes the 2 stones, and he doesn't play this one, if he plays here, I go attack or I peep, then he plays a hane. Oh wait, this hane doesn't even work. So how he makes 2 eyes? Push here doesn't really do much. He can play this one. That's only 1 eye. I could kill this. I missed a chance to finish the game right here. But I felt okay, anyway I have enough territory and the large komi. So even if black leaves more in the middle, because I already got a lot of profit killing the top right corner for those 3 stones on the bottom. And now just playing normal endgame, it's good enough to win the game by 14, 15 points, something like that. The proverb says, who counts will win. And during the game I actually counted to make sure I don't mess up a good position, as I often do. And now I think this is like the last action black tried, but I just kept everything connected in the center. There was nothing to really worry about. So black resigned at this point. Let's check again the score estimator. Not so accurate, but I think white is around 10 points ahead and komi, or something like that. 7-8 points ahead plus komi, so like 14-15 points ahead. Hope you enjoyed this review.